So what is single origin coffee exactly? Why is it so popular and why is it important to you as a consumer? In today's video, we are going to answer these questions and discover the differences in single origin coffees around the world. Single origin refers to coffee originating from one region, crop, or producer. Single origin coffee first grew in popularity from specialty cafes using alternative brewing methods such as the AeroPress and pour-overs to highlight specific tasting notes from the area. This also allowed aficionados to know how and where the coffee they were drinking was from. The rising popularity and demand of single origin coffee has resulted in a better overall quality of farmers' crops and farming practices. Coffee producers are now experimenting with different varieties, growing periods, harvesting, refining, and milling practices because of increased consumer interest in specialty coffees. It's now not uncommon for roasters, buyers, and growers to visit coffee producers and sample as many as 100 different coffees in a day. Single origin coffee is assessed by the industry by several prominent organizations: Coffee Review, Coffee Quality Institute, and Cup of Excellence. Coffee Review is the most influential and well-read coffee buyer's guide in the world, while Cup of Excellence judges the production and quality of rare specialty lots. Usually a 100-point review system and blind cupping are used by coffee professionals for scoresheet testing. An important point to remember when it comes to single origin coffee is that it doesn't necessarily mean the beans are all from the same farm, but rather the same region. Other common terms such as single estate and single farm more accurately refer to coffee originating from a single cooperative, mill, or farm. Despite this, particular regions do have unique coffee notes endemic to them, as well as common profiles that can serve as a rough generalization for the flavor of the coffee. The most exciting part of trying single origin coffee is experiencing unique flavor notes in their most prominent forms. In most blends, tons of flavor notes mix together, making it hard to appreciate any one note. In general, Colombian, Indonesian, Indian, and Nicaraguan coffees are usually lower acidity. Kenyan coffee is a good choice for those looking for more acidic flavor, while Mexican coffee tends to have the lightest body. For a heavier, full-bodied single origin coffee, Indian, Indonesian, Kenyan, and Papua New Guinean coffee make excellent choices. Let's take a closer look. When it comes to Mexican origin coffee, there are three principal areas where Mexican origin coffee is sourced, which are Chiapas, Veracruz, and Oaxaca. Mexican origin coffee generally has distinct nutty tangs, chocolatey undertones, and hints of mild caramel. These characteristics are generally shared amongst many Mexican varieties. These sweet, rich flavors are usually accompanied by light to medium acidity with a subtle white wine finish. Chiapas coffee is generally more acidic than other Mexican single origin coffee and has a medium body. Most of the coffee in Mexico is Arabica, with popular varieties being Mundo Novo, Caturra, and Bourbon. Chiapas, a city in the southern region of Mexico, has been a top producer of gourmet coffee from as far back as the mid-1900s. Fertile volcanic soils, mountainous landmass, and favorable climate allowed this area to produce what's considered to be some of Mexico's highest quality coffee. Chiapas coffee is medium-bodied with rich, delicate flavors and an abrupt tang. Oaxaca origin coffee is generally light-bodied with light acidity. A notable and recommended coffee from this region is called Oaxaca Pluma. Veracruz origin coffee, although regarded as lower quality coffee than Chiapas, has a few exceptional coffees such as the prized Altura Cotepec. Veracruz produces a rich, nutty coffee with hints of chocolate tangs. Kenya is a top producer of excellent premium gourmet coffee. With a flavor profile ranging from sweet acidity to berry toned tangs, coffees produced in Kenya are full-bodied, pleasantly acidic, richly flavored and fragranced, and imbued with distinct floral notes. Overall, Kenyan single origin coffee packs a punch of distinct flavor wrapped in a luxurious texture. Many coffee enthusiasts refer to the Kenyan origin coffee as the connoisseur's cup. As one of the world's top producers of premium quality gourmet coffee, Kenya grades its coffee beans before selling them to the international market. The Coffee Board of Kenya invented the class system for grading. After harvest, all coffees are sorted based on size, shape, color, and density. Either electronic or mechanic evaluation allows for identifying premium quality coffee beans from the lot and discarding the defective or low quality coffee beans. During the selection process, the larger coffee beans are graded separately with the belief that they are higher quality than the smaller coffee beans. The rule of thumb with regards to Kenyan Origin coffee is that the big coffee beans are generally infused with more aromatic oils, bolstering the flavor profile and aroma. As a result, the Kenyan AA coffee grade represents both the highest quality variation and the largest coffee beans within Kenyan Origin coffee. In summary, Kenya is one of the few African countries growing and exporting high-quality coffee in large volumes, offering some of the most spectacular flavor profiles available. Papua New Guinea is one of the world's largest producers of high-grade coffee. Most of Papua New Guinea's coffee is cultivated in the mountainous lands of New Guinea, where albizia berries are found. In the past, albizia berries were used for medicinal and spiritual purposes in the area, but all that changed when farmers began to focus on coffee production. Thanks to the albizia berries previously grown, we can now enjoy the scrumptious, sweet and fruity tang present in the Papua New Guinean coffees. Papua New Guinean coffee frequently combines sweet tangs with low-tone fruity richness, medium acidity, a heavy body and an earthy flavor. It offers a bright, clean finish with a zesty, fruity aroma. Particular notes of Papua New Guinea single origin coffee commonly include mango and papaya. Coffees produced in Papua New Guinea are often known to be oilier than other coffees, which is particularly pronounced in medium roasts. Consequently, Papua New Guinea coffee is particularly great when using a steel filter drip or a French press to preserve the rich texture and flavor these oils offer. The mountain highlands of Papua New Guinea are the principal areas where most of the traded coffees are grown. You would also find premium quality coffee beans grown in the central highlands of Mount Hagen, a fertile land rich in volcanic soil with perfect weather conditions for growing coffee plants. High quality coffee beans are the principal trade of the Nicaraguan economy. Nicaragua is the 12th largest coffee producing country on the planet, and it has been one of the largest producers in the world for more than a century, starting in the 1950s. Despite a number of setbacks such as civil war, hurricanes, and a prior US embargo, Nicaraguan coffee remains a world leader in the production of high quality coffee. Nicaraguan Origin coffee has a distinctive taste with flavors like vanilla and various nuts delivered in a balanced body and a fruity, low acidic profile. Additionally, high-grade Nicaraguan coffee often leans towards higher tone characteristics like floral and citrus notes, as opposed to low-tone flavors like apricot, chocolate, and papaya. Nicaragua is a high-volume manufacturer of sweet acidic coffee beans, with lots of coffee varieties grown in different regions across the country. Due to the different regions in Nicaragua where coffees are grown for export, there are also different levels of coffee quality across the country. However, if you know the part of Nicaragua where your coffee beans are sourced, you'll be able to ascertain the purity and quality of your Nicaraguan coffee. India, the land of king cobras, elephants, and amazing single origin coffee? Well, India may not be commonly thought of as a top coffee producing country, but India does in fact produce a number of high quality single origin coffees. As one of the largest suppliers of coffee in the world, India is a rapidly growing force in the global specialty coffee market. Good Indian coffee has similar flavor profiles and tasting notes to Indonesian coffees. The coffees tend to have a pronounced body with mild acidity and hints of subtle earthiness or spice. While sipping a morning cup of Indian single origin coffee, you might identify spicy flavors such as nutmeg, pepper, clove, cardamom, or even hints of tropical fruits. Single origin coffees from India are arguably one of the best shade-grown coffees in the industry. Indian coffee has an extraordinary historical origin and flavor. From a saint smuggling coffee beans from Yemen 400 years ago to a lucky accident at sea, the country seems to be destined to produce coffee. Single origin Indian coffees offer a stimulating intensity and intriguing subtlety that is unique to the cultivation conditions in the country. With the rising status of Indian coffee among connoisseurs, it is interesting to see what the future holds. Colombia. This South American country is one of the leading producers of high-end Arabica coffee in the world. It is estimated that Colombian production accounts for 12% of all coffee in the industry. Coffees from Colombia have different flavor profiles and notes despite the fact that they all come from Arabica. The Arabica varieties that are cultivated in Colombia include Typica, Caturra, Bourbon, Castillo, and Colombian cultivar. The coffees grown in Colombia are often named after their farming regions, although it is difficult to point out a definitive set of taste notes that are characteristic of Colombian coffee. There are a few recurring features. For example, Colombian coffees are known to have a smooth, mild, vibrant, and easy drinking flavor. They are also low in acidity with a medium balanced body. The aromas tend to be fruity or citrusy with hints of spice. Additionally, processing stations utilized the washed method, leading to a high flavor clarity and pleasant sweetness. The beauty of Colombian coffee generally is its versatility in taking well to different roasts. Medium or dark roasts lead to a rich aroma with intense flavors. The acidity is muted by the sweeter cocoa flavors and bright fruitiness. If you decide to go with light roasts, expect to highlight the citrus fruit undertones and bright acidity. The flavor of the bean is maintained, but with hints of caramel and cocoa. Indonesia is the fourth largest producer of coffee in the world. Few realize that it was also one of the first countries to start growing coffee commercially. Arabica coffee plants were first imported into Indonesia in the 17th century during the Dutch East India Company's occupation. Coffee quickly became an integral part of the Indonesian culture and economy, and today over 90% of coffee is still produced in small holdings. There are three main regions of Indonesia where coffee is produced: Java, Sumatra, and Sulawesi. And due to its overall high production and unique specialty offerings, Indonesia remains center stage in the world coffee trade. Indonesian single origin coffees often have a strong, robust flavor with mild acidity and a heavy body. Generally, Indonesian coffees offer an earthy taste with notes of spice, sweetness, as well as wood, tobacco, and leather. Single origin coffee, regardless of where it is grown, will provide the drinker with a unique coffee drinking experience. We highly recommend sampling single origin coffees from each of the regions we've described in this video to discover your favorites. That wraps up today's video. Don't forget to check out the full in-depth article in the description below and hit the like and subscribe buttons, and we'll see you in the next video.